Apple presentations from Steve Jobs. What was normal to have in 2010 but not 2020? Funny ringtones. Everyone had some ridiculous comedy ringtone for a couple of years there, and then in like 2011 we just mutually decided as a culture to keep our phones on vibrate. Except for old people on trains. Bingly bong bong dingly dong dong diddly doo doo doo. A separate device for music from your cell phone. Please enjoy the music while your party is reached. Proceeds to blast some deep-fried orchestra music. A BlackBerry phone. Miss being able to text accurately in class without looking at my phone. Also, extremely satisfying feeling typing on BlackBerry keyboard. I bought a single Bitcoin back in 2010 because I was a computer engineering student who was interested in the tech. Obviously, I didn't keep that hard drive because it was just a novelty. I never thought it would actually take off, at least not at the rate it did. It was only worth about 1/10 of a cent when I bought it. No opinion on Donald Trump. The billionaire with funny hair from that TV show? Why would I have an opinion on that guy? I mean, I guess the show is fine even if to pay money boy does seem a bit pushy. A still functioning flip phone with no access to the internet. I would turn my flip phone over and take out the battery. Same with sending a text I regretted at the last second. I saved my ass so many times. Thank God for that 5-second delay. Things with mustaches on them. I remember I had a pair of shades that had mustaches on them and I thought they were so pimpin'. Also galaxy theme everything. Tickets to a Bill Cosby stand-up show. The drinks there will knock you out. There's a really cool Bill Cosby drinking game. Laugh at one of his jokes, 1 drink. Enjoy an episode of The Cosby Show, 2 drinks. Meet him in real life, drink till incoherent and unconscious. Silly bands. Those were the shit when I was in elementary school. You were considered cool. I had hundreds of those. The glow-in-the-dark ones were the best. A PSP. I have a PSP Go that I still use today. Perfect for emulating and it's pretty easy to find ISO of most PSP games. Just downloaded the PSP version of Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. Burned CDs that you wrote on top of. I never thought burned CDs would cause so much controversy. Some say they still use them today and others say it was long before 2010. I graduated HS in 2010, and we all had old cars at 18 years old that played CDs or cassettes. You were really lucky to have an aux port and the FM transmitters were trash then. Now I use a cassette with an aux cord in my even older car. Fear of the world ending in 2012. I get that most people didn't actually fear the end of the world, but you can't deny that it was part of the culture back then. I was in high school and everyone always talked and joked about it. I'm moving house at the moment. I have found a shocking number of Xbox games and Blu-rays with the shrink wrap still on. The worst thing is, they were all in a box that I'd found from when I last moved 2 years ago that was in the garage. At this point I should probably just get rid of them. A landline. I have a landline because it comes with the cable and internet. I don't have a phone for it though. And I'd have to look in the phone book for my number, but it's there. I'm somebody now. Apple presentations from Steve Jobs. Hell, I sometimes watch his presentations to admire his charisma. He makes me want to buy an iMac G3 and iPod Nano First General. My Space account still up. I used to log in a couple times a year to get old photos, music, or just to see if it still worked. A lot of that stuff was gone by around 2015 or so. The botched migration just lost more stuff. It seemed the biggest thing lost was music files. A Webkins account. The website has been getting increasingly worse over the years. You now have to pay for like every little mini game and it loads even slower than it did 10 years ago. I visit the website every year or two for nostalgia purposes but I couldn't even get on, I'm assuming because of lag. Also, they haven't updated the mini games on the App Store and I'm bummed because I can no longer play Cash Cow in the bathroom while on my phone. Lol, today I was not expecting to complain about an old game I played as a kid. CD/DVD drive. Yesterday I took my laptop out, it's a ThinkPad I run CAD stuff on. I wanted to play an absolutely fabulous DVD because I'm sick and bored, and wanted to lay in bed. Then I realized, I don't have a device with a DVD/CD player. My tower doesn't have one, my laptop doesn't have. I can't even recall when was the last I needed one other than last night. Everything from programs to media I basically have either online or on USB storage. My world was happier without that memory. When my family first got internet, my sister Cherish had a Webkins. I always had to wait for her to get off before I could play Pop Tropica, but since we had a really slow internet it took her forever to do anything. Our internet was so slow that sometimes my daily allotted computer time, 30 minutes, would run out before Pop Tropica's login page loaded. Now we have really good internet, and I exclusively use it for college, Reddit, and the Babylon Bee. It's crazy how fast things change. A Xbox 360 with Xbox Live. I don't have Xbox Live, but I still have my 360 hooked up to play Skate 2 and 3. I know the Xbox One is backward compatible, but I have a PS4/Switch this gen along with a PC that can run the handful of Xbox One games that interested me, so I never had a reason to get an Xbox One. In 2010 I had a cable hooked to the back of my head unit that plugged into an iPod Nano that stayed in the car and you controlled it from the radio itself. It's like people saying flip phones. The iPhone came out in 2007. By 2010 only little kids and crack addicts had feature phones. iPhone 4, then it was cool and everyone wants it. Now they are hating on you and you are considered poor. I was in the 8th grade when they came out. A girl that I was cool with had got one and wouldn't shut up about it. She flaunted it so much that the teacher took it and she lost her mind like she was too good to listen or give it up. Good times. I hated iPhone then, as I typed from an 11 Pro. I guess carrying around a dedicated camera, music player, handheld gaming system and cell phone simply because you enjoy having them separate. People look at me like I'm an idiot nowadays. I bet there is some Russian village where people are still using Windows XP and playing Zoldot. I doubt it will completely die off this decade. A Facebook and Tumblr account you weren't ashamed of. Now it's all about Instagram or Twitter, and the consensus among younger people seems to be that Facebook is for boomers. Tumblr lost a ton of users after they were bought by Yahoo. Yahoo did what Yahoo does and fucked it up. It got sold to Verizon at a loss, and Verizon cracked down on all the lewd art. But they're somehow still limping along. A monetized YouTube channel. When it all went to shit. Before that people were still making YouTube channels just to make videos, hardly anyone was doing it for money. Post 2010 every YouTube channel is just doing it to cash in and pretends they can't make videos if they don't get monetized. A regular savings account that gave several % interest, even with only $200 in it. And you weren't charged a maintenance fee on it because it was under the $300 minimum. A World of Warcraft account. They merged the World of Warcraft accounts with the Battle.net accounts. They used to be separate. Belief that George W. Bush was the worst president ever. There's a shelf life for believing a president is the worst ever, and it goes 2 election cycles. I remember hearing up and down that Bill Clinton was the worst thing to ever happen to America, then George W. Bush, and currently either Obama or Trump. It's interesting how short-sighted and present-centric we are with our already insanely polarized political beliefs, which wane over time. 2010 Ellen would not be chilling with W, that's for sure. A misdemeanor marijuana possession charge. At least in MD. I used to be paranoid. Now you can damn near walk down the street smoking and not get harassed. And people made a big deal about it if you got busted. Even if you do get one today, nobody cares. Skeuomorphism in your designs, logos, websites, and operating systems. For those that don't know, skeuomorphism is the idea of making digital UI elements look like objects in real life through the use of texture, gradients, reflections, and shadows. The best example I can think of is iOS before iOS 7. Apple wasn't the only one doing it, but it seemed to disappear almost overnight when iOS 7 came out. Now, anything that doesn't use skeuomorphism incredibly sparingly just stands out like a sore thumb and looks incredibly dated. A BlackBerry, one of those hair extension feathers, in the case of people my age now, 21, braces, t-shirts with Cookie Monster on them, t-shirts with slogans about bacon. General Motors was still selling Hummers in 2010. I don't see any in my city anymore, although I sometimes see them in Western Canada. Paper maps in your car. I still have my Always, 2010, I think, in my boot. I know someone said GPS mounted in your car, but they were expensive for P-Plate or me, so I asked Mum for Christmas for an Always. I was working at a primary school, They had to use an always for something because another class had the laptops. They, the students, were shocked to learn that Google Maps didn't always exist. Probably like those rainbow loom rubber band bracelet thingies because there is not a single, and I mean single, kid or adult with these bracelets. I guess this is something to do with trends and those come and go. An iPod. I found mine out while cleaning a month ago, so I brought it to work cause I'm sick of the Spotify adverts. Got quite a few eye rolls and some "are you trying to be hipster" comments. But honestly, it's great. I've found so many songs I'd forgotten about. Also found a few podcasts I'd recorded with some friends like 8 years ago and they are hilariously dumb. Thank you for watching Reddit Space. Please subscribe if you love these Reddit stories.